Hey, good morning, traders. This is my video. I'm just going to recap somebody else's video here, but I'm going to put a little bit more detail on it, on the counts and everything, and what I'm seeing here in the markets today. So we'll see what happens in the markets. So basically what we had going on yesterday, we had a diagonal that we broke out of yesterday. Okay, and on a very nice short squeeze in the markets to the upside. Okay, so earlier this week we broke out of this diagonal, we crossed over it, and then we've continued to go up. So was it last week? No, it's the fifth. So the fifth we crossed over, and we've continued to go up since. Okay, and so broke out of this diagonal pattern right here to the upside into this prior diagonal pattern up here. Okay. And basically, what we did, we rallied up yesterday right into the start of that diagonal that happened last time. Okay, so we went from one diagonal to the start of the next diagonal, and that's where we closed the session. Okay, um, so just keep that one on watch. So it took a little while on this count to get going here. The current predominant count that we got going on here, that we have just completed a wave 5 to the upside, and we might get rejected here. Okay, but we do know that this is a new trading area, and we're just halfway into that trading area. So, in my personal opinion, we have not topped out. This wave count, the predominant one that another a trader was showing us here, that it's a 50-50 odds that this count is actually accurate. Okay, and that he guy I'm watching, he suggests we're going to have a sell down today, which could very well be the case on either one of the scenarios, thinking that the wave count is over with and we need a corrective wave to play out in today's session. So. I don't know. CPI is coming out in just a little bit. So basically, what we got going on here, like I said, we went right up to this diagonal. We've had a five-way completion possibly here, and the bottom of that prior diagonal, the higher diagonal, that's all the way down to 39.20. So you have a potential that we could go all the way back down to 39.20 to retest the bottom of the higher diagonal. Okay. So be mindful of that. He's personally thinking we're going to go down to 39.45, 50 area. Okay. There was some support in this area as well. Okay. So that's he's thinking we're going to correct down into this 39.45, mainly because we have a divergence, 1 hour divergence that in his view seems to needs to be corrected. Okay, and so we're going higher on the 1 hour. See us high here. We have a higher MACD versus and we have a negative divergence happening here on our MACDs. Okay, the main one most people use. This is your default from the factory, 1226. I actually use two of them, but that's what he's thinking. We've got such a divergence on the 1 hour that we're probably going to get a corrective wave lower. I do want to point out some other things to think about today. If we were to get a corrective wave, our daily CPR low, our daily central pivot, is lower right here too, the 39.70 area. So if they were just to want to digest the move, so to speak, I could see us hanging out around the 39.70 area here today to digest, to build out value at these higher prices for a continuation move higher. So that is another scenario here because we are extended. We closed actually extended versus yesterday's inventory. So be mindful of that as well going into all the bank earnings coming out today, and we have CPI coming out today. So we have a lot of information hitting the tape today. Okay. So that is his primary thesis here, and our weekly CPR high uh, is way down here around the 3,900 area. So we've had one heck of a rally in short squeeze rally in this week's session. Okay. Some things I'm looking at here to the upside on this scenario. Uh, in this scenario, this wave count, the upside shouldn't be an issue. Okay. We should have actually completed, in my opinion, the upside in this scenario. And so we are actually looking more for the downside scenario in today's session. Okay. So that's the main thing that I want to point out. on this wave count, that if we have completed this wave count, it looks like a potential downside scenario. Okay, close A. Now here is a different scenario with a different wave count. Let me go out on a show you how this thing plays out here. So in this scenario is like A, B, and we are currently in a C pattern. Okay. And so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've completed this wave. Uh, so of the B pattern. Okay. So well, that'd be C1 or something like that. So uh, so this wave, we're currently possibly in a bigger B wave to the upside. And now we are potentially doing an A, B, C pattern to the upside until it's proven the count changes. Okay, we have to let it play out first. And in this scenario, look at the 40-50 and the 40-100 up here in this scenario. Okay, 40-50, 40-100. Now, if I go out in the 1 hour chart, let me show you where those line up with. 40-50 is right here. Okay, the high of this diagonal up here, and the 4100s up here. Okay, and so definitely keep these two scenarios on watch here. With the news coming out, definitely can happen here. So basically, the 48, the 40-50 area, that's a 78.6 target. Okay, let me put the values back on these fibs real quick. That way we can edit. Show coefficient on left. Okay. So I do want to point out here, the 40-50 is 100% of, we had this retracement here. The 40-50 would suggest a 100% move of that retracement. And the 4100 would be the 138% retracement of that move. So I'm really looking at the possibility of this scenario. So be quite mindful of this scenario playing out today. We don't know until the news comes out, and I want to see what the initial reaction is and stuff. But I definitely want to keep this one on watch. Okay, and then some other things I was looking at today. I gotta zoom this out. I didn't actually update these charts too much on the NQs and the Russell yet. Wanted to get this video out here real quick. See how I got a fib spiral and how we are walking. We have just exploded. We got this fib spiral right here, and we've exploded up. Okay, in this spiral range. Okay, and I had mentioned to the guys in the room, I thought there's a potential we were going to come up to the cross right here. That's exactly what we did on the Nasdaq. So we talked about it yesterday in in the room, and we did exactly what I thought we would do. Okay, so we came up here. We have completed my upside target, potential upside target. So let's keep an eye on that. Now we know that the 41,400 area, 50 points lower here, that is a support area. Okay, so keep that one on watch here. That down in this area, the 41, 360, 390 area, that should act as some sort of support down in this area if we were to come down in. But yeah, like I said, we're in this fib spiral, and these things do matter. So be quite mindful of that for the bearish scenario. But looky here, we got a cross also here going into Friday, 11,644. So I really focus in on these crosses, okay? And so we do have a cross above us, the 46.46. So that's the bullish scenario also, and I definitely want to keep that one. We're in a breakout of my Fibonacci retracement that I drew yesterday, okay? And our next target 382, that pretty much lines up with that other cross as well. So just definitely keep both sides in the back of your mind here, both scenarios that could play out. Like I said, we're in a new diagonal trading zone, and we're like we're only halfway through that diagonal trading zone. So you have to be mindful. Try not to think about how far we've come to how much we could still go. And that's exactly the scenario that I'm thinking. We could very well not be done with this move. So I don't want everybody to start thinking, oh, we already hit our target. No, because we haven't hit the top of that diagonal. And, or, so I'm still leaning that we still got more gas fuel in the fuel tank here in this market. And then one last one I'm going to look at here is Russell. Similar situation. We had a cross on my things. We came right up into that cross area. Now we stopped. This one here, we are showing signs that we're crossing out. So this might be a leading indicator that we might be crossing out of our fib spiral. Okay. So definitely keep that on watch. A lot of times whenever when you break out of these spirals, you get corrective moves. Okay. So be quite mindful that we could. It is not a guaranteed, but I'm just saying it's something to be mindful of. We have concrete of this retracement. We have completed 100% move of that retracement, as pretty much as of yesterday. So be mindful of that. So that's given us two possible bearish signals initially for the morning. So just a few things I'm looking at here. We had a diagonal start down here, but I didn't draw the other one out. Can I draw it real quick, right, guys? Let's see, is there another diagonal? Okay, the diagonal is down here. Yeah, there's a diagonal right here, guys. You see this trading pattern right here? And well, that's a messy one though. That's a really messy one. Your diagonal's putting it right. Honestly, you can just eyeball it here, and you can tell that this area right here was critical. Somewhere right through here. I'll put a little line on that. You can tell this was a critical area right here. Extend to the right. And then you zoom in here real quick. And you can see we are trading right above that green line right there. See? So that was a prior very important diagonal area that we're currently trading above that. So as long as we hold above that line, you have to remain bullish. Okay? So be mindful of that. Have to remain bullish as long as you're holding above the 1147 area, something like that. So keep that on watch. But I could definitely see us coming back down and back testing it early on in the session. Thanks for watching. Please retweet me on Twitter, Gumby9662C, and like the video, please, on YouTube. Appreciate it.